Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for joining us today. I haven't done a video in a while, but we're going to get back into it here. We're the Montana's newest TOPS knife dealer, and we're waiting for our initial order. Should be in very shortly. Today, we're going to be talking about the TOPS Tahoma. This thing is a really cool knife, and we're going to be putting it through some paces today. Nothing really tough. I've already been beating the snot out of this thing, and yeah, it's a pretty impressive knife, but we'll just do some small tasks with it today. And thanks for joining us. This is our channel, Scott Hansen, MTB&T, Montana Bush and Tool. If you go to our website, montanabushandtool.com, you can find our knives for sale and other outdoor and wilderness products. Thank you. This is Scott Hansen, MTB&T. Thanks for joining our YouTube channel today. We're going to be processing some firewood here. We just found some dead wood laying on the ground, and we're not going to be doing serious testing with it, but I've been playing with this blade. This is the TOPS Tahoma. We've been playing with this blade a lot through the winter. I've been beating the snot out of it, and I really like it. And we're just going to process some firewood here. Get some of the dead stuff off. Actually, a pretty nice day in Montana here today. COVID-19 and all, but Montana hasn't been hit very hard, and hopefully we won't. Just want to demonstrate some chopping abilities on this thing. Actually, we'll even try batoning here. This is a wet piece. Let's see here. Oh, bit more blade on it. Not really trying to make a fire with this, folks, just kind of demonstrating how deep it'll cut. You can look right there. That's one cut right there. It went pretty deep. So, all right, we found some fatwood here laying on the ground. We're gonna see if we can knock off a chunk here with the TOPS Tahoma. See if we can find a good place to get at it here. if we can get this thing off of here. This Fatwood's really, really hard here, so see if we can get it at a bit better angle. There, we're getting some. Watch out, Doc. Watch out. There we go, there's one piece. All right, you saw me cut off a couple chunks of some fresh Fatwood right off the, fresh off the factory there. So we're gonna demonstrate the usefulness. We'll choke up on it here. Let's talk about this knife here for a little bit. So real quick, got double edge, which I really love. Some people complain about it. This notch right here is a wire cutter, and I won't go into detail on it too much, but this is a wire cutter. This notch right here, the forward notch, is for picking up your pot off of a hot fire. Right here, this is for a bullet puller basically, so a 22, a 223 or whatever. It's a little big for a 223, but for 30 caliber it'd probably work pretty good. And you can see I've been beating this knife up pretty good. Here you got a divot for bow drill. I'm not a bow drill guy, so I'm not going to demonstrate that and embarrass myself. Here, pry bar, and you could, I guess you could use it as a improvised screwdriver tip. And okay, and this is almost a spear point. If a spear point would come down just a hair more, so it's basically a spear point for all practical purposes. Here you have your choil, which I really love the choil on this. It makes this knife way more useful for getting on there and choking up, as you can see. Then you have your finger, which your middle finger will go in there really nice. Flip it around so you can see. But yeah, you got a lot of handle there to work on that blade. And then for chopping, you can run your hand all the way back to there, and even back a little bit farther. And it does not have a sharp 90-degree spine, and it's not hardened anyway. You can see the heat treat. They use a differential heat treat. From here you can see it. It's kind of a dirty blade right now, but you can see the heat treat comes up to here, so you could actually strike a ferro rod with that, and maybe we'll even try it. But I would strike it up here on the sharpened edge. It's an extra edge anyway, so you might as well use it for something. But I know some experts would balk at that idea, but oh well. And then here I always like to put on high visibility. At Montana Bush and Tool, we put on high visibility lanyards, just so you don't lose your knife in the woods. When you buy it from us, you will, if it has a lanyard hole, we will provide one. If you don't like it, you can cut it off. We don't care. But anyway, I believe it's, I don't know if it's micarta or G10. It looks like G10 to me. A lot of people complain it's a little slippery. If your hands are bloody or wet, they stick real good. This knife, and I would absolutely trust my life to it. I personally don't like this. I'm thinking about grinding that off. What I like to do with a big knife, I like to be able to put my palm on the back of it and do a push if I need to. And that, I can do it like this. I would rather get full force on the very back of it, but Anyway, I can make it work one way or the other, but I'll probably eventually grind mine off. If I had one complaint, that would be it, other than the sheath. I hate the sheath. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, let's start doing some processing some fatwood here, see if we can get a fire going. All right, here we're going to choke up. You got different ways you can hold this. We're going to get up here on the choil and use it for its intended purpose. Get up here. We can do some paper thin cuts. Look at that, folks. This is not a factory edge. I put my own edge on here. And that's another thing that we do. If the blade comes from the factory and it's mediocre and we notice it, we will sharpen it. But there you can see, I can smell it too. But you can see those paper thin cuts. And we're not going to actually build a fire. We'll start it just to show you, demonstrate, but we're not demonstrating how to start a proper fire right now. So you can get nice and thin. We'll use the backside too, just to show you. That one too. Not as comfortable holding it that direction. And you can make sure you don't put your thumb here and press. That would be really nasty. You can do it there. I would rather do it with a different knife, but see how thin that is, folks? That's gonna catch so easy. And this is fresh. We just cut it 10 minutes ago. Here we're gonna strike with the backside. Dave Canterbury, please don't have a heart attack. All right, here we go. There we go. Started real easy and didn't even dull the blade. I love this 1095 steel that TOPS uses. They got the best heat treat in the business. All right, I'm going to show you guys real quick just a handy little trick. I prefer not to strike a ferro rod with my blade, to be honest with you. But my favorite striker is the Victorinox with the saw blade. Check this out, folks. All right, you see we cut through that fat wood with that saw. That saw will create fine little sawdust, and this is fat wood sawdust. This stuff doesn't take but just a tiny spark to get going. But and then I'll just demonstrate. We'll use a smaller ferro rod just to strike it and show you. Handy little tool to have. All right, folks, now that we're done messing around with this stump and the fat wood, we're just gonna soak this down real good, just to be on the safe side. This is, our snow just cleared out of here, and I know it's not a fire danger right now, but for future references, if we were doing this midsummer, we would not do this on the stump here, so don't do this in midsummer during fire season. This is very early spring, and we are expecting more snow tomorrow.